So I was just recording how to go about installing the Rubric module when I realized an issue with the Assignment Studio. So now there's Assignment Studio version 1.1, which fixes an installation issue. So Rubric module, getting back to that, what you're going to do once you install it is you're going to go to the Rubric page under the site configuration. You're going to say what content type can be considered a rubric and have rubrics associated to it. So mine's called rubric. Something else you have to do is Ajax is required to be installed as a module. So you're going to want to make sure that you enable it for content type rubric. That'll clear up some issues with validation. And now what I can do, because cleaned out all the old content that was in here causing errors in some of the previous screencasts, I can create a rubric. So, new rubric. So I'm going to make one for my assignment message in a bottle. As you noticed before, if I wouldn't click on the wrong things, that I set the taxonomy to for assignments to rubric, or something called rubric at the time, and also story, which is what I'm storing as my assignment. So I can name this whatever I want. Body text, you can use that for things like the directions of this assignment for the rubric page. And then you're going to get a rubric tab here. So if you click and open rubric, you see there's 4 different modes over here. I'll jump into add mode so you can see how it works. If you click on an item, it will replicate it at any level and then replicate the levels below it. So the way that you modify them after the fact is you edit them. Just put it in edit mode, you'll see everything transfers over here, and then as you change these fields, it changes the stuff there. You don't have to hit save after everything, but it's the safest way to ensure that it does save. It is Ajax saving everything. Yeah, that was a great everything. So as you can see, you can change any of these. And then there's also these little additional info boxes, and I'll show what that does in a second. You can run around, delete stuff just by simply clicking on it. You can see you're not locked into any amount of levels here. So I can actually make this up to 8 levels, or sorry, grading scale here. You can make it up to 8. So there's 6, 7, 8. Really, you probably shouldn't make it 8 because that's a little ridiculous, but just for the purposes of this demonstration. You see if you change the point value, so if I make this one 10 points now, you'll see it bounces down, orders them based on the score that you give them. If you put this in preview mode, you can click and see what score would get generated as you run through the rubric as well as the feedback. As I said before, when you throw info in, it puts it in these little things that can pop up. So let's save this and then see how this would show up in the Assignment Studio. So hit save. There, we'll show you that. And then we'll go to review assignments. Okay, so problem I had when I ran this before was I clicked on my own, which I can't do as the admin. So here's one of Bill's assignments. So I have my tabs up at the top. So I just generated him an assignment because I went through and cleaned stuff out. So what I'll do is go through and click on these and say, yep, that's the score. You can collapse these areas, the larger categories, fairly easily, just visual. So you can see what it generates down here is based on what you click through, it will generate the point value into the associated box. So let me show this working one-to-one here. So if I make this 150, you'll see it changes to 150 points there. If I want to change this because I think they did a really good job, you can override that value. You can change the feedback you give them on any of these. There's some little traps, to make sure that you don't screw stuff up. But once I'm all done with it, if I hit save, it will change this to orange. You see it gives it a D because of my grading scale. And I'll show some of the last few features of this in the next screencast here. The last one, finally.